Hey everybody, welcome back to In My Head channel. I am your host, Brant, and I have another video today in my series of looking back at my previous reviews for Kiss albums. This video is the second video that I ever made as far as a Kiss video goes. This is a review for Harder Than Hell, and I tried something different in this video 7 years ago. This video came out in probably about this time, around, the beginning of March. But it was the second video that I made, and I don't know why I did what I did, but in the first video where I listed what I liked about the albums and I listed the albums as from my favorite to my least favorite. In this one, what I decided to do was these are my top 5 favorite, and these are my top 5 least favorite. And it kind of got confusing. I don't know what I did in the video after for Dress to Kill. I'm pretty sure I didn't stick with this format very long, because even me watching it the other night and kind of looking back on it, reflecting, I'm like, this is confusing. This is a lot. This is extra. So past Brant, future Brant's telling you that you are a little bit extra. But my co-host in this video today is going to be myself. So before I get into, I'm going to let past me introduce the video, show the introduction that would have been for this video, and then we'll get into talking about the album and talking about the songs. I'll play clips from me, past me, talking about what I talked about in the first video. Or in the second video I ever made. And then I'll jump in and give my current thoughts on it 7 years later. So this is Harder Than Hell 7 years later. Before we get into that, I want to say thank you to all my new viewers. I'm picking up subscribers. YouTube's putting me back in the algorithm. I'm picking up subscribers. I'm closing in on 4,000 subscribers. So once I get to 4,000 subscribers, I may give something away. I'm going to give something away once I get to 4,000 subscribers, and it could be something vintage. I got some double vintage things in my collection. I've got some double records, some more than I've got some doubles of. I've also got 2 Gene dolls. I've got 2 Paul dolls, the Miko dolls. I don't know exactly what I'm going to give away just yet as I get a little bit closer to 4,000, but I'd really like to make it to 4,000 maybe by the end of the year. And I'm less than 100 away, so it is absolutely obtainable. So, but thank you to new viewers, current viewers. If you've been here a long time, this is your first video, be sure to comment and like the video. Also, feel free to join my Patreon if you'd like to. It's $5. There's 3 levels, $5, $7.50, and $10. And you get different things for the different levels. You get quite a bit for the $5 level, so be sure to join that if you'd like. Help support the channel. It's patreon.com/inmyhead. Thank you to my Patreon subscribers who currently subscribe with me. I appreciate you guys, and I appreciate giving them early content, giving them exclusive content, asking them opinions about what I should do in my videos, and they kind of give me some feedback, and I really appreciate that. Also, be sure to check out the TeePublic merch that you see at the bottom of the screen, or you can click on the link in the description. You can go and find things like shirts and buttons and things like that. Also, before I get started into what I'm going to go into, be sure to check out Critical Kiss. We just released our video for Destroyer, and that went really well. That video is picking up some momentum. We'd like to pick up some more subscribers. We're still under 200. We have a lot more viewers than that, so I'd like for some people to subscribe. If you're watching the video on Critical Kiss, be sure to subscribe. All right, and the last thing before I get into introducing what we're going to do, Harder Than Hell, I want to do the OCD corner really quick. I like doing it up front rather than doing it at the end. So I want to talk about the OCD corner. The OCD corner is what have I been obsessing about? And it's still cassettes, CDs, 8 tracks. I'm actively looking for Kiss CDs, cassettes, 8-tracks online and in record stores. When I go into record stores now, I'm actually looking for that stuff a little bit more than I am vinyl. So I've been really on a 8-track kick and a CD and a cassette kick, looking them up on eBay, trying to find. I've got a lot of holes to fill, a lot of holes to fill in my collection, and so I'm trying to find cost-effective things, cost-efficient things. So, but yeah, and also another thing that I got to start looking at was I was looking at my DVD collection, and I do not have a big Kiss DVD collection. It's actually very small, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's not enough to be its own video. But I wanted to show you these. I'm not going to show you in great detail, but the DVDs that I do have is I have Confidential and Extreme Close-Up. It's a double feature edition. And it's Kiss Confidential, Kiss Extreme Close-Up, all on, and oh, it's still sealed. I've not ever watched this. It's still sealed at the top. Look at that. Still sealed. But it is on one DVD. So, yeah, I'm not going to open it this video, but I mean, I am going to go through those and look at those. Maybe have some watch-along parties over on Patreon. I have Symphony, which I have watched this, and it is very cool. And I will show this really quick. It looks like that. You open it up, and it's got a book in there. And it's got the 2 discs. And it's got Peter and Gene and Tommy on the back. This was when Ace had left the band, and they brought Peter back in to, Peter was back in, it had to be at least 2/3 of the group. So they brought Peter back in since they didn't have Ace. I think Peter had left before, and they brought Peter back. Tommy, or Eric, had been drumming some, and drumming with Ace. And I love this. And I love this this DVD. It makes me want to watch it. So my Hot Face may remain DVDs for the rest of the week, because I'm going to have maybe possibly some evenings alone this week and next weekend. And so I'm going to try to maybe watch this. And I'm actually recording some videos ahead of time, because we're getting ready to have another baby in the house. Not in the house, but in the family. My oldest daughter is about to have her first child. It's going to be a little girl. So we're looking forward to that, and that is supposed to be sometime later this week. I have, let's go in order. Let's see. I have the Kissologies. I have the first one, and I'm not going to go through all of these. I'm just going to show the back of them. I may make a more extended video showing these, but I'm not going to show them right now. It's just too much. I want to get into doing Hotter Than Hell. But there's the second Kissology, and then the third. This is to 2000, and they never have released the final Kissology, and who knows if it actually will ever get released. We just don't know. We don't know if it's going to ever get released or not. All right, so I'm going to turn it over to my co-host. He's going to introduce today's video and show the intro to today's video. Hey guys, it's Brant here, and I'm back, and I'm doing another review today, and I'm going to be reviewing Kiss's second album, Hotter Than Hell. So this was very typical that I did in some of my early videos. I'd never made a Kiss video before, and so I tried to look back at the album, look back at the band during that time. I don't really do that so much in videos anymore, because I feel like that I'm just rehashing things I've already said. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to kind of rework and re-release these videos, because I've got over 500 videos in my, if you look back through my playlists and my timeline, I have 7 years worth of material, 500 videos, and it's a lot. And so I know a lot of people, they only watch stuff that's current. They don't ever dig back through the content to see things that I had talked about, made videos on. And but the Kiss albums are the Kiss catalog is so important to me. That's why I wanted to go back through it this time and work with myself as a co-host, or whoever else is in these videos with me as a co-host, and just show bits and pieces of these videos so people can see things that they possibly never saw before, and so I can give my opinion on the songs and restack these songs in a current video 7 years later. Kiss was pulled from the road to support their debut album and to record Hotter Than Hell after they had only been on the road for about 6 months in support of their first album, the debut album that they had just released in February of that year. And they were pulled to go back into the studio in August of that same year in 1974. And they spent August and September of 1974 in the studio with Kenny Carter and Richie Wise again, the same two guys that produced the first album. Except this time, instead of recording in New York at Electric Lady, they recorded in LA. They moved all the way to LA in order to record the first album. They recorded the album in the same studio as the Rolling Stones, Fleetwood Mac, and Bob Dylan. And the album was released on October 22nd, 1974. Now, it only went to about 100 on the Billboard charts and was not certified gold until several years later. The album was certified gold on June 23rd, 1977. The album was originally supposed to be called The Harder They Come, and the album was changed to Hotter Than Hell after the title track Hotter Than Hell was written. Kiss didn't take to the relocation to LA very well. It was a different culture. LA at the time was very different. It was coming out of the 60s. It wasn't like New York was, hard and, everything. So it was kind of a little bit different environment for them. Paul's guitar was stolen the first day they were in LA, so that just kind of set the mood. But they settled in and they eventually grew to love the scene and everything, especially Paul. Paul was in the nightclubs. He hit the nightclubs a lot during this time that they were recording. Now, if you look at the front cover of the album, Ace's makeup, what you see on every picture, Ace's makeup is airbrushed. He had been in an accident and had to have surgery, plastic surgery on his face. And so there was some airbrushing. I've seen some photos where it's this side of his face. I've seen some photos where it's the whole top of his face. But so any photos you see on the Kiss album with Ace's makeup, it's all airbrushed. So yeah, that's the story about, I'd forgotten that this album was supposed to be called The Harder They Come. And then they wrote Hotter Than Hell, and they decided to change the album. Kiss was a little more dangerous back then. So The Harder They Come is a very, very suggestive title. And I don't know if you can barely hear it, but there's music playing behind me talking. And that was my band, Lydia's Bridge, and the song Severed Rain. It kind of I had it playing under the intro of my videos for a certain amount of time. I don't know really how long it was. We'll find out as we go. We'll eventually get to an episode where I don't do it. But at that time, I was still trying to feature my band, and even had some videos with a former bandmate of mine on the channel where we were talking about songs, talked about the songs that we wrote. These were original songs that we had written and performed like back in the early 2000s. Now, if you look at the photos on the back of the album, there's a bunch of photos, some pretty risque photos that apparently had an orgy. It was supposed to be a photo shoot that turned into an orgy, and everybody got drunk or wasted in some way except for Gene. Paul got really wasted. He documents it in his book. Gene documents it in his book. They document it in the book back there, Nothing to Lose. So that was basically where the photos from the back cover came from. The front cover was from a separate photo shoot. Now, this was the first album to have a commercial to promote the album. The first album had only had radio promo, but Hotter Than Hell actually had a television promo commercial. This would not be the last time that Kiss gets pulled off the road to record an album early. They also get pulled off the road early to record Dress to Kill, but that's for another review. The Hotter Than Hell album has a little bit darker content than the first album does, and the sound itself is darker, murkier. I've heard it compared, people saying it's murky, muddy, sounds like it's coming through a pipe. A lot of people I've heard it criticize the sound, saying that they don't like the sound. However, I like the sound. I like the sound of Hotter Than Hell. It's still not my favorite. These recordings are still not my favorite versions of these songs. I actually still prefer most of the recordings off of the Alive album that was to follow. But I do like the sound of this album, the recorded sound, better than the original first album. The first album, when they recorded it live also, and they did basically takes all playing together. They had overdub and stuff like that, but they didn't do many overdubs. The second album, they took longer to record it, almost 2 months, and they did do more overdubs on it. It just sounds, even though the sound isn't quite right, sounds more complete to me. I forget how much information I used to just cram into these early videos. I would do, this was still very much scripted, and I was trying to do something different in this video. I don't know if you remember, if you watched me revisiting Kiss, it was mostly me reading from a script and showing videos and things like that while I was reading the facts and stuff like that. But on this one, I tried to put my face on the video more. So I was trying to just remember everything I could. I was not going, I didn't have anything sitting like off to the side or a teleprompter or a screen or anything like that. I just was remembering all the stuff that I'd researched for in the amount of time. And I got off of, Kiss FAQ, from stuff I'd read, from Wikipedia, from different books, different resources. I referenced a book. I referenced the one of the Kiss books, and I'd read all the books and everything. I'd read all the books, and was just, my head was full of knowledge. I don't know where all that knowledge is now, but this video, and especially it seems to me that the Hotter Than Hell video is more about the information than it is about the review. Now on this album, all band members do play on all the songs except on Parasite. Ace Frehley plays the bass on that. So Gene does not play bass on Parasite, but other than that, all Kiss members play on all the songs, and that's a trend that in later years they move away from. But anyway, let's get to the songs. Now, what I'm going to do a little differently on this one, and I want to see if you like it. And if you like it, leave comments below. Instead of doing the album's review of the song in the track listings, track 1 to track 10, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 2 lists. I'm going to do my top 5 favorite songs from 5 to 1, 1 being my favorite, 5 being my least of the favorites, and I'm going to do the 5 worst songs on the album, starting with 5 up to 1, and the number 1 being the song I like the least. Like I said, this is something that I tried. It was very short-lived. I even felt like I was having a hard time describing it, and this is a scoring way that I did not do for very long because I felt like it was kind of unnecessary. It's like, okay, just name the worst song or whatever. And I would go back to doing the videos in order of the track and scoring them, and then at the end of the video saying, okay, this is how I scored things. This is the first. This is all the way down to the last. But then I always wanted to get into talking about the song. So in this video, instead of it being listed by track listing, it was listed in a very weird way.
My number 5 favorite track is Going Blind. And I know a lot of people don't like this song, but I do. There's just something about it that I really like. The song was originally called Little Lady, and it was a song that was written all the way back in when Gene was in Rainbow with Stephen Cannell. And it was originally called Little Lady, and it was originally renamed to Going Blind. Paul added the line, "I'm 93, you're 16," although he's uncredited for it. And they did that back then. It's not like now where they do the whole, well, I wrote this song, and I arranged this song, and, you know, back then, I've even heard interviews of them saying that it was all about getting the best song. And if somebody wrote a part or whatever, it would go uncredited and it wasn't a big deal. Apparently that's not the case anymore these days. Gene borrowed parts of Eric Clapton's Layla that he played backwards in parts of the chorus.
So Going Blind, it would have been number 5 on my list. And I talk later on about what I scored the songs. And at the end of this, I'll have my current list at the end of this video, and I'll give my scores for those then.
My number 4 favorite track off this album is Coming Home. It was written by Stanley and Ace Frehley, and it was performed by Paul Stanley. Paul says he didn't actually write this song with Ace. He basically wrote the song based off an idea that was given to him by Ace. So once again, that's what he says now, but it's actually credited to Paul Stanley and Ace. I just like the way the song sounds and everything. I just like the verse and the turnaround in it that it has. It's a really good song.
So essentially number 4 on this video would have been Coming Home. And I still feel the same way about Coming Home. I like Coming Home. I think it's a great song. I would have scored it around, or listed it around a 4 there. Let's see what I'll do with it at the end of this video.
Rock and roll!
My number 3 song that I like the best off of this album is Let Me Go Rock and Roll. This was written by Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley. It was sung by Gene. The original title was Baby Let Me Go. Simmons penned the lyrics during his lunch break, during his day job in the early years of Kiss. It's one of the few Kiss songs where the lyrics were penned before the music. And it was demoed for the first Kiss album, but was left off. It was performed during the show supporting their first album. I like this song. It's just a rocker. I like it especially live, where they put in bass solos and extended guitar solos. The live version is a version I really like.
I'm still a huge fan of Let Me Go Rock and Roll. I've covered it on my channel, played drums to it. I'm going to continue to do drum covers. I think I'm going to do Up in the Sky from Ace's 10,000 Volts solo album. I'm going to do that soon. But yeah, Let Me Go Rock and Roll, I think it's great. It's better on the live, but it's really good on here too.
So my second favorite song off the album is Watching You. Watching You was written by Gene, and it was sang by Gene. The music was written inspired by Mississippi Queen from Mountain and from Rock Me Baby from Jeff Beck. This song was also demoed for the first album, but it didn't appear on it. And I really like this song. Just the lyrics in it is just, limping as you do, and I'm watching you, and everybody else is here watching you. It's kind of a stalker song. And so I don't know, that's not really the appeal to me. I'm not a stalker, but I just really like that whole, it's kind of creepy. Like I said, it's darker content. So I kind of like that, really like that. That's one of the things that brings this song out to me. That and the riff is just excellent. And so if you haven't figured it out by now, my number 1 song on this album, my favorite song on this album is Parasite.
Watching You, I think is awesome. These first 3 songs, I score all of them a 10. The next song, which was my favorite song on the album at the time of this recording 7 years ago, is still my favorite song on this album. I score it a 10, Watching You a 10, Let Me Go Rock and Roll a 10. And like I said, I'm scoring these songs this time in a vacuum. I'm only sizing them up against other songs on this album, not other songs in the whole catalog. And that's what I did back then. So I had a tendency to score songs lower because I knew there was the tens that was out there that I considered tens. And I was like, well, I don't know if that's a 10 also as well. So I'm just doing it in a vacuum this time around. So I'm not comparing it to any other album, just the songs that's on this album. So Parasite, Watching You, Let Me Go, Rock and Roll, to me, are all bangers, as the kids say. I don't even know if they say that anymore. But they're all tens to me. And that's the next song is Parasite.
Parasite was written by Ace and performed by Gene. It was originally called Parasite Lady. This is a song that Ace brought to the band fully written, fully arranged. It was ready to go. It was one that he really worked on, and there was no arrangement and rearrangement needed. On some of Ace's songs, like Cold Gin, on Cold Gin, Gene and Paul claimed that they did help him rearrange the song a little bit, but this is one that was, by all accounts, brought fully ready to go to be recorded. And I just love this song. I love the riff. I love just everything about it. It's a badass song. I only wish Ace would have sang it. I wish Ace would have had the confidence in his voice that he did in his guitar playing, because I just love Ace's voice. And I love it when you hear him sing his own songs. It's really cool. So Parasite is my number one song on the album. So now what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the least 5 favorite tracks on the album. And I'm going to start with the one that I can tolerate the most. And then we're going to work my way to the one that I don't like at all. Now, you probably already noticed there's some really good songs that people consider really good songs as their favorites on this album that have not made it to my favorite list. And I'm not saying that the ones at the bottom of this list that I don't like, I just don't like them as much as my top 5. Now, number 5 on my least favorite list is a song that I actually really like. I just don't like it as much as the other 5 I've already talked about. So you would say this would probably be 6th on my list, but it's 5 on my songs I don't like, and that's Got to Choose.
All right, so after discussing Parasite, I turned around and tried to describe what the worst 5 songs are. So essentially, my number 5 worst song ends up being, on the way I'm going to track it this time, ends up being number 6. And by the time you get to my least favorite worst song, like I said, it's weird. I'm glad I didn't take this format too long. Hopefully, I had abandoned this format by Dress to Kill. I don't know yet. I can't remember. But yeah, so the least favorite worst song would be track 10 or number 10 on my list.
Written by Paul, sang by Paul. It was originally called Who's Your Baby? It's just a really good song. I like the live version better. It's just there's something about this version. It's just, I don't know what it is, but it just misses with me. So that's why I put it at number 5 on this list, because I do still like the song. Now, number 4 on this list of the least liked songs is Hotter Than Hell.
This is one of the reasons why I didn't really like this format and I didn't really stick with it too long. Is it was really hard for me to call Got to Choose a least favorite song, because I would score this song a 9. I score it the same as Coming Home, Going Blind. I score all those songs a 9. And so that's what makes Coming Home, Going Blind, and Got to Choose 4, 5, and 6 on my current ranking of this album now. So it's just weird. It's like, okay, least favorite songs, of course, once you start getting below 5 or 6, or starting getting down to the bottom, like 8, 9, 10, those are least favorite songs. But just because the song's your least favorite don't mean that you don't like it. It just means that, hey, I'd rather listen to number 1 a whole lot more than number 10. So it's just a thing you have to do.
I may catch a lot of flack for that. It was written by Paul, sang by Paul. Paul wanted to write a song like Freeze All Right Now, but he didn't know how to end the song. So he came up with this kind of Black Sabbath kind of lick riff and stuck it on the end, and that kind of outroed the end out to the fade out. Like I said, it's just something about it. Something, it's not the song itself. It's just something about, I don't like this version as much as I do on the Alive. And like I said, sometimes there's songs that I just don't like. And sometimes there's versions of songs I just don't like. And on this album, I don't really like the version of Hotter Than Hell.
Now, I don't really know if I agree with past Brant there. I like Harder Than Hell. I don't like, well, I kind of do agree. I don't like this version that great. I love the version on Alive. And I love how on Alive it goes from Harder Than Hell into Firehouse. Firehouse, to me, my opinion, hands down better song. Some people consider Harder Than Hell a classic, and it is great. It is. It's classic. It's what the album's named, so it's a good song. But I would probably rank, I'd probably give Harder Than Hell an 8. Still, still towards the top there. It's close to a 10. But it would definitely drop it down below Got to Choose, that I have at a number 9. Got to Choose is just a better song to me than Harder Than Hell. Some people wouldn't say that. Some people say Got to Choose is a filler. Going Blind is a filler. But, hey, I know Kiss plays it during like sound checks and acoustic sets, stuff like that. So they played it on. They played it during the sound check that I went to. So on the final tour. So so I put Harder Than Hell on my list. Scored it an 8.
Now, number 3 on my least liked songs is All the Way. All the Way was written by Gene and sang by Gene. Gene started writing this song before the album was recorded. He had 2 verses written down but no title, and he finished the song once the recording started. It's just a song that I don't really care for. This is starting to get towards songs I don't really care for. I don't like the songs themselves. And this just, you just keep talking louder. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I just don't really like the song. I don't like the subject of it, and I just don't really like it.
So my opinion has changed about All the Way. I think All the Way is kind of really a cool song. It still falls below Harder Than Hell for me. I'd say I'd give it a 6. And I probably was not that kind to it back then. I'll show my list here in a little bit of where I actually put this. I probably stuck this, or I may just say where I stuck it as far as my ranking goes. But I'd say it's a 6 for me now. It's 5 being the middle of the road. It's a little more than middle of the road. It has some cool parts to it. I'm not as hard on it now as I used to be.
And number 2, working towards the stinkers on my list, is Mainline. This is a song that was written by Paul and sang by Peter. And don't get me wrong, I really like Peter's voice. I do. He's got one of the best voices, in Kiss. But it's just, he always just seems to not get the best songs. He's kind of like Ringo to me. I love Ringo, star of the Beatles. Everybody knows who I'm talking about. But I just never really liked his songs. This is like Octopus's Garden. It's like, it's just a song I don't really like. This was a song that was given to Peter after he demanded a song to be given to him for the record, or he was going to quit the band. And that's not the first time that Peter had done that, and it certainly wouldn't be the last. So number 2 on my list is Mainline.
Mainline is another one of those songs that's grown on me. It's kind of like a rockabilly song, and it's a good song. I'd probably score it about a 6 now. It's a little bit better than middle of the road to me. And we get a Peter vocal. We also get another Peter vocal, and in the very next song.
So by process of elimination, we all know that that leaves my stinker of the album. My number one song that I do not like on this album, I actually don't like it, is Strange Ways. Now, this song was written by Ace Frehley and given to Peter to sing. The solo was recorded in one take, and Gene was rumored to have recorded a vocal on it before it was given to Peter. This is the song that had the 7-minute drum solo in it that Peter demanded to be in the song, or he was going to quit the band. He wanted his Anagata Davida, and they let him record it. But after Peter left, Gene and Paul stayed behind, and they told Richie and Kenny, hey, cut that solo. You know, it was dull and it was just drug on. And I would like to hear it. I don't know if there's any version of it out there, if there's a demo of it out there, maybe that exists. If you know about it, put it in the comments. Because I know there's a lot of stuff out there that I've not seen. I've seen a lot of stuff. Because I really dig and really research for my videos and stuff that I do. And I don't bring up everything because these videos would be an hour long if I brought up everything. I just bring up the things I think are interesting. But that's one I would like to hear. If there's a demo of out there with that 7-minute long solo, that'd be kind of cool to hear.
I'd still like to hear that solo. I wonder what Peter did for 7 minutes. If he was just, wouldn't it be amazing to hear that? And he's just on fire. He's just nailing it, just killing it for 7 minutes. Or if he's just, it's interesting. That's one of the things I think about whenever I listen and I look back and I hear the history of the songs and I listen to myself giving me a history lesson on songs, the information that I'd forgotten. It makes me just think, wow, it'd been really cool to hear that. Or wow, I forgot that was originally named that. And what if it would have been, what if it'd been named that still? But yeah, so what that does is Strange Ways. I remember at this point in time, Brant of 7 years ago, past Brant, he hated Strange Ways, hated it. I don't really hate it so much now. I'd probably still give it maybe a 5. And I know a lot of people, I've caught a bunch of flack over the years for not liking Strange Ways because some people think that Parasite and Strange Ways and Watching You are like the 3 best songs on this album, and everything else, Hotter Than Hell and is good. But then people have mixed reviews on Coming Home, Going Blind, Got to Choose, All the Way, Mainline. A lot of people don't like Mainline. But it's cool that we got another Peter vocal out of it. We got an Ace song out of it, and an Ace Wright out of it. Pretty wicked solo, made in one take. Pretty frantic solo. So, yeah, so that's how I basically tracked or listed the songs. I had Parasite number 1 with 10, a ranking of 10. Watching You at 2 with a ranking of 10. 3 was Let Me Go Rock and Roll with a ranking of 10. Coming Home 4 with a ranking of 9. Going Blind 5 with a ranking of 9. Got to Choose number 6 with a ranking of 9. Harder Than Hell number 7 with a ranking of 8. All the Way number 8 with a ranking of 6. Mainline number 9 with a ranking of 6. And Strange Ways at number 10 with a ranking of 5.
So what I'm going to show on the screen right now is my scores for all the songs. I didn't really give scores in my reviews. I just said what I liked and what I didn't like. So here's my score. Parasite has an 8. Watching You has an 8. Going Blind has a 7. Let Me Go Rock and Roll is a 7. Coming Home is a 7. Got to Choose is a 5. Hotter Than Hell is a 5. All the Way is a 5. Mainline is a 3. Strange Ways is a 2.
So I noticed that I basically tracked these or listed these in the same order, but my opinions got better. Where on Parasite, where I had a 10, or on an 8, I had a 10. Watching You, I had an 8, and it's a 10 now. Going Blind, I had it as a 7. It's weird. It's like those are Going Blind was further down. It was like 5. So that's weird how I did that. It's like I messed up a little bit. Let Me Go Rock and Roll I had as a 7. I mean, you know, past Brant was just chunking videos out. He could have messed up. Coming Home I had as a 7, and it's a 9 now. Going Blind I had as a 7, and it's a 9 now. Got to Choose I had as a 5, and it's a 9 now. So my opinion went up a lot on Got to Choose. Higher Than Hell I had as a 5, and it's 8 now. Opinion went up. All the Way I had it as a 5, and it's a 6 now. So opinion went up a little bit. Mainline I had it as a 3, and it's a 6 now. So opinion went up a lot of that. And Strange Ways I had as 2. So I told you I hated that song. I'm surprised I didn't give it a 1 back then, because I really didn't like Strange Ways at all back then. So that's how I would have tracked it out. The way I tracked it out, the way it wouldn't. Well, that's my order of I would have reviewed them in. It didn't change. It's funny that the review of the song, the order of the songs, and that I would have picked them in from 7 years ago to now didn't change. Well, I mean, maybe. I mean, you saw there was a little bit of a mix up in between songs on that final list. But there's pretty much the same. So I hope that past Brant changes the format for the Dress to Kill album, because I want to see. I don't like this format past Brant. I don't like it at all. But I am going to let Brant finish out the video here. I'm going to sign off, and I'm going to turn the duties of finishing the episode off to him. I don't know what all he's going to say, but I will tell you real quick, thank you for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment. Be sure to interact down in the comments. Leave your list. If you don't agree with me, tell me what you don't agree on, and leave your list. If you would have made this list, what would you have done? And check out Patreon. Check out Critical Kiss. Give us a subscribe, and take it away, past Brant.
Well, that's it. That's my list, and that's my review. I hope I didn't piss any of you off too bad. And but you have to remember, it's just my opinion. And so that's all I've got for you today. That's my review. Click on my face here if you want to subscribe. And there should be a video right here of, another video that you can watch if you want to see more of me. And I'm just going to go ahead and close for now, and I'll see you next time.